Let me walk you through today's agenda. We have 4 parts. In part 1, we will be talking about how to discover components and dependencies across your entire application stack automatically. In part 2, we'll be looking at how you can measure the key performance metrics across your application infrastructure. In part 3, we'll be looking at how you can utilize AI and ML to detect anomalies, analyze performance trends, and plan capacity. And finally, in part 4, we'll be looking at how you can leverage the most out of Applications Manager's integrations. So let's proceed to part 1, auto-discovering components and dependencies across your entire application stack. So let us consider the experience of one of our global financial services customers. This company relies on a virtual data center with a complex network of servers, including Tomcat, MySQL, and IAS. Unfortunately, they encountered a service interruption due to an unidentified issue. Their complex IT infrastructure with diverse servers and dependencies creates a blind spot in identifying the source of the performance issues, which brings them to an impasse. They lack the necessary visibility to pinpoint the source of the problem, whether it originated from the database or a specific server or another unforeseen component within the application stack. They often suspect the database might be at fault, but due to the limited visibility, they couldn't determine the location of these database servers, and pinpointing the root cause becomes a time-consuming struggle. Additionally, identifying slow-running queries within their databases proves equally challenging. This financial services provider needed a solution to gain deeper visibility into their complex IT infrastructure and proactively manage their applications. Applications Manager, with its comprehensive infrastructure and application performance monitoring capabilities, emerged as the perfect solution. So with a single click, Applications Manager can discover all the servers, services, and applications that are running within the IT infrastructure. To discover resources across the IT infrastructure, 3 methods can be used. One is the network discovery, the second one is bulk discovery, and third one is the virtual infrastructure discovery. So in network discovery, it can be considered as the process of discovering the resources, or you can call it monitors, within a specific network. It discovers the monitors running in the default port only. And in bulk discovery, it uses the bulk import capability where you can add the monitors of the same type in bulk. The bulk import of monitors is performed by using a CSV file, which contains all the configuration details of the monitors you wish to add. So ideally, there are 2 types of dependency mapping that can be done with Applications Manager. One is the server to application dependency, and the another one is the application to application dependency. In server to application dependency, it displays all applications that are running on a server and maps the applications that are interconnected with each other. While in application to application dependency, it displays all the applications that are running on the same and different servers and maps the ones that are interconnected. Our application discovery and dependency mapping feature helps you discover and group these resources, establish relationships between them, and map them correctly to provide a holistic view of your IT infrastructure, assess the health and impact potential of the resources, and more. For example, if an application is running on server A and it's using the database running on server B. So for these 2 servers, we can create a relationship map, and we can also view the live status of the applications at the hosted servers as well. As you can see in this map that I have provided as an example, you can see the interdependencies between all the elements and also the availability or the live status of each of the server or the IT component. So this feature will also help you detect and isolate problems, if any, obtain periodic status of your applications, and make informed decisions. Rather than checking if the host server is down or the database is down manually, you can check this view to pinpoint the exact root cause of the issue. So let me show you how it looks like in the UI. So this is the UI of Applications Manager. And here, in order to see or add or discover and use the ADDM feature in Applications Manager, you need to go to Settings. And under Settings, you have discovery and under add/discover under discovery and data collection. Click on add/discover. Here you will be able to add all your monitors. If you want to add a single monitor, you can use this method. If you want to bulk import the monitors, you can choose which type of monitor that you want to import in bulk, and also you can upload a file. So this file has to be a CSV file, and here I have an example file where I can upload it, and all the list of monitors will be added automatically. You can also start the discovery automatically as well for all these monitors which are present in the bulk import file. Additionally, you can also discover using the discovery feature. And the network discovery, it will already start discovering as soon as you install Applications Manager. So here you have the auto discovery, which has already discovered all the servers and elements in my network. So if you want to add a new discovery details, here you can add the name, say test, use the credential which is given below, or use the credential from a credential manager. If you don't have a credential, you can add it as a new credential. If you have one, you can use the below credentials. So you need to select the type, whether it's range, CIDR, or VMware. VMware is where you get the virtual network discovery. Select the range, specify the IP address, the subnet mask, and for port selection, you can configure the port as well. Here you need to specify the SNMP detail, SSH detail, telnet port, and the server applications which are based on these ports as well. So after giving all these details, you can just choose to discover, or you can choose to discover and add. So after you've added the discovery details, you can map the dependencies between these monitors. So if you go to a dependency, you can add a name for the dependency, say test, and it will show all the monitors that have been discovered by using the feature. And by clicking on all the monitors, you can create a discovery map. So here, this is an example. So it's a singular line because that's the linear dependency of these elements present here. So by viewing these maps, you will be able to guess which one is down and which one is causing an issue in your IT infrastructure. So let me move on to monitor groups. So monitor groups are a logical group of one or more monitors that provide a holistic view of your business environment. For example, the health of an online web application depends on various factors, such as the health of the application server hosting the web application, or the availability of the web server for accessing the web applications, or the database server which is storing and from where the information is gathered. These web applications and services can be grouped together and monitored as a single monitor group. So in order to create a monitor group, go to New Monitor, click on New Monitor Group. Here you can add your monitor group by specifying a name. If you need a description, you can add a description. It is not mandatory. And then you will be able to define the users and owners for the same. So you can specify whether it's a monitor group or a web application group. If it's a web application group, you get the application components. Whichever one suits your needs, you can click on it. If it's a monitor group, you can create a map view for this monitor group. And by selecting advanced, you'll be able to select the location of the monitor group as well. After you're done with all of this, you can create the group and you will be able to view the monitor groups here. So moving on. So moving on to the second part of today's session, measuring key performance metrics across your application infrastructure. So what happens when an issue arises? You don't understand where it is coming from. The Cloud Ops team blames the applications team. who blames the networks team, who blames the DevOps team. If this has occurred in your organization or is an ongoing issue, the problem is prone to be because of the lack of visibility in the IT infrastructure. So what do you need insights into? So let us talk about what constitutes as an issue. For an application, it could be the application slowness or unhandled exceptions. For an operating system, it could be poor provisioning of server and virtual resources. For a network, it could be excessive network utilization and error rates. And for hardware, it could be hardware errors and availability problems. So to ensure optimum performance, it is important to understand the key metrics you need to track no matter which environment your applications are running on, whether it's on-premise, private cloud or public cloud, or a hybrid cloud environment. So for application servers, the key performance that you need to focus on are request throughput, threads, server response time, JVM heap usage, and connection details. Among the critical metrics for these application servers that I just listed, JVM heap usage stands out. So it acts as a vital gauge for identifying memory-intensive sections of your Java application. By monitoring this metric, you can pinpoint memory hogs, detect memory leaks, and optimize memory allocation. Applications Manager empowers you to monitor the JVM heap usage effectively. By monitoring the heap usage, you can proactively monitor your application's memory's footprint, prevent memory-related issues, and ensure optimal performance. While JVM heap usage is crucial, it's not the only metric for ensuring optimal application server health. Similar to JVM heap usage, Applications Manager allows you to configure alerts for server response time and thread utilization. This proactive approach ensures that you're notified of potential issues before they impact users or application stability. Additionally, you can also analyze the historical data to identify trends and patterns, enabling better resource usage and allocation and application optimization over time. So next we have the servers. When it comes to servers, there are some key metrics that you need to focus on. So some of the metrics that you need to focus on are system level performance metrics, server availability and uptime, and application level performance metrics. So in addition to this, event logs can also be monitored, which can help you better understand how the system is operating, and it can also give you an insight into the health of the system. So you have processes and services in all of the servers. So monitoring the servers at the process level tells you why the server is resource constrained and what is causing this issue. This clarity helps you detect when a specific process goes haywire, which deprives other processes of resources and brings down the performance of the server or the entire infrastructure. Without process monitoring, identifying the root cause of what triggered these chain of reactions or events is close to impossible. Moving on to databases, the key metrics or the parameters that you need to focus for databases are the query performance, where you can identify queries that take too long to run. You can track most frequent queries in your DB and in database connections, backups and jobs, and log statistics. So when it comes to slow queries can significantly impact the application response time and user experience. Applications Manager empowers you to monitor the query performance within your database servers effectively. It can also help you check how many database connections are present and how many you actually need. As for the backup and jobs, you can identify when the last backup was executed and create an alert for it. You can create, start, or stop a particular job from Applications Manager. You can also monitor the session details to understand the users who are currently active, check the log statistics, and buffer pool usage of the database server. Applications Manager can pinpoint the slow-running queries that are hindering the database performance. By identifying these queries, with the help of these metrics listed here, you can prioritize optimization efforts and address the root cause of sluggish database operations. So let me show you how it looks like in the UI and what metrics you can monitor in all of these servers. So to add a monitor, you can either go to settings and add a monitor, or you can choose monitors, new monitor, add new monitor. Here, we'll first try to add an application server. Under application servers, you'll get all the servers that you can monitor listed here. So let me try adding a server. So in WebLogic server, each monitor type differs according to the vendor that's being listed. So the configurations details differs as well. For the WebLogic server, you have the display name, you have the host name or the IP address. So specify all that. You need to specify the subnet masks and the port. For the credentials, you can use the below credential, or you can select from the credential list. If you have a credential manager, you will be able to view all the credentials here. Since this is a relatively new build, I don't have any credentials listed. Here, you can use the below credential, where you can specify the WebLogic version, specify the username and password. So if you want to discover the clusters or servers, you can choose to here as well. You can choose whether you want to discover, if you want to discover but do not monitor, if you want to discover and monitor the metrics in the clusters and servers. Specify the polling interval. If you have a credential, you need to test the credential. And after that, you can select and associate it with the monitor group. After that, you can add your monitor. To view the metrics under the monitor, go to monitors. Under here, all the monitors that you've added will be listed. With the category view, you'll get all the details about all the monitors that you have added and all the monitors that you can add in Applications Manager. So here under Application Servers, you have the WebLogic cluster and server. So by clicking on the server, you'll be able to view the metrics in the WebLogic server. So here you get the monitor information, the availability, the heap usage. Like I mentioned, this is one of the most important metrics for application servers. You have the server response time for the last 1 hour. You can also define it for the last 7 days or 30 days. You get the minimum response time, maximum response time, the average response time, and the current response time. You get the same in JVM heap usage as well, the minimum heap size, maximum, average, total, current use heap size, and the current use heap size in percentage value. You also get memory pool details, where you get the details like committed memory for each of the memory pool, the initial memory, max allocated memory, used memory, peak used memory. And you also get details about the garbage collection, which gives you details about the JVM threads. And here you have the top 5 highest user sessions in the last 1 hour, represented in the form of a graph. You get details about the session and thread pools, which is represented in both tabular and the graphical format. You also get details about the database connection pools, JMS details, SAF details, etc. So this is it about application servers. Similarly, you will be able to get details about all your application servers when you add your monitors. So moving on to databases. To add a database, go to add new monitor. Here, click on the database servers. So the most popular database is my MS SQL. Let me try adding it. So you need to specify the display name, the host name or the IP address, the subnet mask, the port, again, the credential details. If you want to enable Kerberos authentication, you can do so as well. If you choose to enable the Kerberos authentication, you need to specify a password, and also need to specify whether you need to connect using a named instance, force encryption, etc. For other authentication types, you have to choose between SQL and Windows authentication. If it's a SQL authentication, specify the username, password, and if it's a Windows authentication, you need to specify the same here as well. After you specify it, you can connect using a named instance. You can force an encryption. You can also specify the driver for the SQL connection, SQL Server connection, whether it's JDBC driver or Microsoft JDBC driver. Specify the polling interval. Since you've already given credentials here, you can test the credentials. And after testing the credentials, you can choose to associate the monitor to a monitor group and then click on Add Monitors. Similarly, to view the monitor or the metrics under SQL, you can go to Monitors, and here under MS SQL, you'll be able to view the metrics here. So Applications Manager provides extensive details about the SQL Server. So in the Overview tab, you get the monitor information, availability details, and all the other details which are given to you in the form of the graph, and all the important details are given here. If you want granular details, you need to check out the tabs apart from the overview. So here under performance, you get the query details. So it lists you top queries by CPU, top queries by IO, top queries by CLR, waiting tasks, top slow running queries, most frequently executed queries, most block queries, top queries by lowest planned reuse, cost of missing indexes, and top components by memory usage. By clicking on any one of these queries, you will be able to take a guess as to which query is slowing your application down or your database down. By clicking on the slow running queries, you get the slow running queries which are listed and sorted according to the most, the ones with the most latency or execution time. So as you can see here, it's listed with the number of execution, the minimum execution time, maximum execution time, etc. You can also make a guess as to which queries are using the most CPU by clicking on top queries by CPU. And moving on to database tab, you get details about all the databases in the SQL Server with the used and free data file along with the total. So you'll be able to guess which one is using a lot of resource here, along with the log file information, etc. Under sessions, you get details about the connection statistics, SQL statistics, database connection detail, host details, session details, etc. And in jobs, you get the job details. So here you get the current execution status, the last run status, the run date and time, and how much time it has taken for the specific job to complete. In backup and restore, you'll get the same data. Since the data wasn't available, it's not there. So in replication, you get the replication status and the details about the replication agents as well. And under user, you get all the details about the users who are using that particular SQL Server. So now that the database is over, let's move on to servers. So to monitor a server, click on Add New Monitor. Here, click on Servers. All the servers that you can monitor with Applications Manager is listed here. And clicking on Windows. Here, specify the display name, host name, subnet masks, OS tab, whichever OS that you have, you can select it. You can choose the mode of monitoring, whether it's WMI or SNMP. You can choose the credentials and specify it. You can also enable Kerberos authentication here as well. And you can enable event log monitoring as well. So after that, you can test the credentials. Like I said, in servers, event log monitoring event logs is of utmost importance. And in order to view the metrics, you can go to monitors, and under servers, click on Windows. So here, you'll get details regarding the CPU, how the usage of CPU by CPU cores, and you get it in a graphical and tabular format. You get disk details, disk utilization, disk IO statistics, etc. You get details about the network within the Windows Server. You get the event log details. You get hardware details. You get NLB statuses, scheduled task, print queue details, and configuration details. That is it about the server monitoring in Windows. Moving on to third topic, leveraging AI and ML to detect anomalies and troubleshoot issues quickly. So it's a familiar scenario. An IT environment generates a flurry of alerts when an issue strikes. Unfortunately, the sheer volume of alerts can overwhelm the IT staff, leading to a phenomenon known as alert fatigue. So, in such situations, critical alerts might get overlooked by level 1 support or the network operations center. And additionally, the point of contact personnel might lack the sufficient context to actively assess the situation. So imagine this scenario. Your critical MS SQL server relies on backups every 12 hours to ensure the data protection. Unfortunately, due to an unforeseen issue, the data backup process fails silently, leaving your data vulnerable for the past 24 hours. Manually sifting through these logs and alerts to identify missed backups can be time consuming and error prone. So Applications Manager empowers you to automate this response time to missed backups, eliminating the risk of human error and ensuring data safety. Here's how it works. So it has automated monitoring. Applications Manager continuously monitors your missed SQL server, which keeps a watchful eye on the backup process. You can also create a custom script within Applications Manager that associates an alarm with a specific SQL job action. So when the backup age of your server exceeds a predefined threshold, say 12 hours, Applications Manager automatically triggers the custom script. So you can also create a custom script that can initiate a series of automated actions, such as launching a new SQL job to initiate the missed backup immediately, or sending a notification email or SMS to the IT staff, informing them of the missed backup and the corrective actions that have been taken. So this is how Applications Manager helps you. It helps you filter the noise, it helps you prioritize the event, pinpoint the cause, and automatically remediate. So this translates in a reduced risk of data loss, improved efficiency, enhanced reliability, and faster recovery. So another important area where machine learning or ML is used is the threshold profiles. Applications Manager currently supports static, adaptive, and anomaly threshold profiles. For example, say you have a Tomcat server where you want to monitor the memory utilization. Instead of configuring a static threshold, if you choose an adaptive one, when the current memory utilization deviates from the usual pattern, an alert will be generated or triggered. So let me show you where you can access these threshold profiles. So in order to get a threshold profile or create a new one, go to threshold profile, create a new threshold profile. So this is the static threshold profile. You have the adaptive threshold profile and an anomaly profile. For static threshold profile, you just give it a name and give a value for the severity. In advanced options, you can choose the warning severity, critical severity, and clear severity values as well. And you can also choose to apply the threshold based on business hours. After creating this threshold profile, you need to associate it with the metrics. Under adaptive threshold profile, you can automatically say if the percentage deviation is lesser than or equal to or greater than a certain value, it will start generating an alert or it will start triggering an automated reaction to the alert. So this is the automatic type, and under manual type, you can choose it on baseline values or custom expression. As for the baseline value, you can choose the fixed baseline based on the previous week, or you can also choose any week of the year. So say if week 4 of May 2024 is the highest and the most ideal performance for that metric, you can choose to compare it with that metric, and you can choose whether you want to receive alerts based on that. So you can also check and specify the baseline as percentage values. So you can also give a custom expression for the same. By adding this threshold profile, you'll be able to associate it with metrics where you can generate alerts or you can associate actions with it. So under anomaly profile is also based on machine learning techniques. Here you need to specify the anomaly profile's name, whether it's based on baseline values or a custom expression. Similar to the adaptive profile, you can give a fixed baseline based on any week of any year data, or you can specify a moving baseline, which is based on the previous week's data. So you can also specify the values of as a percentage of the baseline. So after creating this anomaly profile, you can see whatever the profiles that you created here. So you can see the threshold profiles over here. So this can be associated to any of the metrics or the parameters in your application or your monitors. As for the anomaly profiles, if you've created any one, it will be listed over here. Moving on, we have the AI and ML-based reporting. Applications Manager offers a comprehensive suite of reporting functionalities. So we have a granular reporting for over 100 types of reports. You can generate detailed reports on a wide range of IT performance metrics with over 100 report types that are available. And you can gain in-depth insights into your IT infrastructure with the library of this report. And also you can optimize the resource utilization within your IT infrastructure by identifying underutilized, overutilized, and oversized idle servers with the capacity planning reports. With the forecast reports, you can predict the usage and growth of your resources by using AI-based technology. So the report types that we support are availability and health report, which is self-explanatory. It shows the report of the availability and health of certain servers or the monitors. And downtime summary report gives you a report of the availability or the downtime of that particular monitor. And trend analysis reports gives you an overall trend of all the metrics in that particular monitor or server. History report in Applications Manager provides a detailed history of a particular attribute of a monitor. You can also generate historical trends across business hours for a particular attribute. This provides you with an understanding to the amount of resources that has been utilized by the particular attribute over a period of time, whether it's a week or a month or a year. The hour of the day report generates an hour's average for a particular time period. So say a week or a month or a year for the particular attribute. For example, if you have selected the last 7 days data, the report generates an hour's minimum, maximum, and the hourly average. This report helps you visualize various bottlenecks that appear for this attribute or a resource during a particular time period. This allows you to plan future impact of bottlenecks on the said attribute or resource. Then we also have the inventory report, where you can view all the details of all the elements present in your IT infrastructure or inventory. So we have capacity planning reports, which are reports for servers, VMs, containers, etc., where you can see whether the servers are being underutilized, overutilized, or under-provisioned or over-provisioned. So these help you rightly allocate your servers and VMs so that you won't have any bottlenecks regarding resource optimization or resource usage. So it helps you achieve optimal allocation of resources within your IT infrastructure. And like I said, it can categorize the servers into three key groups, which are oversized, undersized, and idle. So let's see what are oversized servers or oversized utilization of servers. So imagine a server with a powerful memory configuration of 4 GB, but it only runs a single application. Even with multiple users accessing the application, the usage remains consistently low, never exceeding the 3%. This signifies an oversized server. So your IT team might have allocated like 32 GB of memory, assuming the need for a robust system. However, this application itself only utilizes a tiny fraction of that allocation. This excess memory essentially sits idle, representing wasted resources. So, Applications Manager, like I said, it will help you pinpoint these oversized servers by analyzing the memory and CPU utilization patterns. Servers with consistently low utilization despite having high resource allocations are primary candidates for right sizing. So we have undersized servers, which are the candidates for performance bottlenecks. These undersized servers occur when the resource allocation falls short of the actual application needs. Consider a server with 8 GB of memory running 4 applications. Whenever users access this server, CPU usage constantly hovers around 92% or even reaches 100%. This scenario indicates an undersized server. The limited memory struggles to keep up with the demands of the multiple applications on the server, leading to high CPU utilization. This translates to potential performance bottlenecks, impacting application responsiveness and user experience. So let's move on to the next type of report, which is the forecast report. So Applications Manager goes beyond traditional monitoring by offering forecast reports. These reports leverage historical data to predict future trends for metrics like server utilization, database file size, etc. This proactive approach empowers you with valuable insights for capacity planning. Let's say you want to predict the disk utilization for a specific server in June 2024. Applications Manager analyzes the historical data on the server's disk usage, considering factors like seasonal trends or anticipated application growth. Based on this analysis, it generates a forecast report that predicts average disk usage for June 2024. This prediction empowers you to plan any necessary actions such as freeing up disk space or adding additional storage well before encountering the capacity issues. So moving on, let's talk about the dashboards and widgets present in Applications Manager. Applications Manager comes with 3 dashboards. One is the default dashboard, second one we have the business view, and third one is the availability dashboards. In business dashboard, you can quickly configure your business metrics like customer wins, revenue, etc. It helps the manager, Applications Manager or your manager to align the IT with business needs. After configuring a dashboard, you can save the settings as a monitor group template. This monitor group template then can be applied to other monitor groups, thereby it becomes easier to create dashboards and monitor groups. So here you have widgets such as performance metric widgets, application availability, health and summary, alarm summary widget. You have the heat map widget, which is present right here. And you have the monitors by status and downtime widget, monitor error status widget, and you have the business view widget. So I'll show you how it looks like in Applications Manager's UI. So you have the performance metric widget here. You have the heat map widget I mentioned before. So here you have the heat map of all the servers in your IT infrastructure along with the availability details. By hovering on it, you'll be able to get a summary of the availability, the message, etc. And you also create the monitor groups widget over here. The infrastructure snapshot, you have the alarm widget, you have the monitor status overview, top end monitors, monitor groups, attributes alarm widget, the health history of each of the servers or applications, the monitor groups availability history. And here you have the business view of the servers. Here it is basically a dependency map wherein you will be able to view the dependencies of all the elements in your IT infrastructure. So you also have a topology map view, a world map view, monitor groups, a tree view, the downtime summary, the threshold breakers, where alarms have been generated for violation of thresholds, and you have the last 24 hours, 30 days availability history, etc. This is it about the dashboard or the widget. Let me show you how you can see the reports now. So to access the report, go to reports are here. And here you can see the reports according to monitor group. And you also have custom types. So in trend analysis report, you will be able to see at a glance report. So at a glance report gives you details about all the metrics within that particular monitor. So here you have the availability of the Tomcat server, response time, 1xx responses, etc., average bytes. So everything is listed here in a graphical as well as a tabular format for easier understanding. And so moving on to capacity planning reports. So similarly, you get all these reports for each of the monitor types. And in capacity planning reports, you get undersized, oversized, and idle servers for servers, VMs, containers, etc. So you have Kubernetes, OpenShift, and Docker containers. As for the virtual machines, you have KVM, Hyper-V, Citrix, and for servers, you have undersized. So let me click on undersized servers, for example. So it gives you all the details about the undersized servers in Linux, Windows, Sun Solaris, etc. So it will tell you why it is currently undersized. And so as you can see here, the CPU utilization is over 100%, which is why it is named as an undersized server today. And as for oversized servers, it will tell you why it's oversized, the CPU utilization, the memory utilization, and the disk utilization of all the servers. As for idle servers, it will tell you why it has been named as an idle server here. So moving on to inventory reports, you get details about all the inventories or all the elements in your inventory. Here you get the display name, resource name type, the category, poll interval, etc. As for the forecast report, you get the forecast report of disk utilization where you can predict the usage and trend of a particular resource for up to 3 years in the future. So by clicking on C, you will be able to specify the date up to 3 years in the future. Here you get the forecast by trend and forecast by utilization. So moving on to the last part of today's series, achieving the most out of Applications Manager with built-in integrations. So we have direct integrations and we have in-house integrations. For direct integrations, we have Prometheus, ServiceNow, and Slack. As for the ManageEngine's in-house integration, we have Alarms One, Analytics Plus, and Service Desk Plus. So what are the advantages of these built-in integrations? So you get end-to-end visibility. You can reduce the bottlenecks. You can get performance insights and a more efficient reporting and avoid SLA breaches. So let's talk about the Service Desk Plus integration. It helps you automatically discover all the IT components in the configuration management database of Service Desk Plus and then create dependencies in Applications Manager. So by integrating with Service Desk Plus, you can automate the process of categorizing, prioritizing, and assigning tickets to technicians in Service Desk Plus from within Applications Manager. Applications Manager, when a predefined condition for a particular monitor violates its threshold value, an alarm is instantly generated, and consequently, a configured action is executed, which can be a ticket in Service Desk Plus. So if with everything automated, forget about tracking all your tickets manually all the time. You can ensure that no ticket is unattended ever, You can create or reopen a new ticket when an alarm is raised, and you can close the ticket, you can update the ticket, or view the details from Applications Manager. As for the Prometheus integration, you can import all the Tomcat servers with the Prometheus integration at one go. You can also integrate it with the OpenShift in Applications Manager. So let us see the UI. So in order to add these integration, you need to go to settings. And click on add-on settings. Click on the plus symbols to add the integration. For example, for Site 24/7, you can click on plus, and for Prometheus, you need to specify the configuration details like the display name, poll interval, the data collection mode, whether it's exposed Prometheus API or curl through SSH, Prometheus server details, SSH connection details, discovery specific, etc. And you can specify the discovery specifications as well, whether it's a Kubernetes, Nginx, OpenShift, or Tomcat service. Currently, we support Prometheus integration for these 4 monitor types: Kubernetes, Nginx, OpenShift, and Tomcat. And then you can specify the discovery options as well, whether you want to pause discovery, whether you want to discover and monitor, whether you only want to discover, and if you want to discover specific instances. You can add an action on a monitor if the data is unavailable as well. So as for Service Desk Plus, you need to associate it with the Service Desk Plus's account. You can provide the URL, the OAuth provider, mail notification in case of connectivity failure, the log ticket details, and the configuration item sync as well. So we also have mobile apps for Android and iPhone, where you get an overview of all the monitors, monitor groups, and subgroups within Applications Manager. You can receive critical alerts on the go. So let me do a quick recap of today's session. This marks the end of today's session, where we talked about auto-discovering components and dependencies across your entire IT stack. In part 2, we saw how you can measure the key performance metrics across your application infrastructure. In part 3, we saw how you can utilize the artificial intelligence and machine learning techniques to detect anomalies, analyze the performance trends, use it in reports, and plan capacity. And in the final parts, we saw how you can leverage the most out of Applications Manager's integrations. In particular, we saw the Service Desk Plus integration and Prometheus for Nginx, Kubernetes, OpenShift, and Tomcat servers. So that is it for today's session.